Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 712 of the DrunkNerds Podcast. I'm here as always. I'm Tyler, and join me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty chill right now. Got off from a work week where it was kind of a little bit slower. The time of the year where it's just before springtime, but at the same time you're still contesting with a lot of tumultuous weather and stuff. And for the vast majority of the Olympic Peninsula and stuff, it's like I was dealing with a bunch of like random snow flurries and stuff. So all the way from like a couple towns over and stuff all the way to through to Seattle, there was just a bunch of like winter weather increment that just went off throughout this weekend. What was really funny is like with the town where I'm living in and stuff, hardly even touched the inside of the town. The mountains around and the foothills covered with snow.
Huh.
It's just kind of a funny type of thing though. But other than that though, had my week off, had my week off and stuff for vacation. Came back to work. Nothing incredibly crazy and anything else like happened and stuff. But other than that, though, I did finish up the main game for Pokemon Leaf Green, and now I'm just tackling the post game. So I'm very happy to go through that, and I'll explain a little bit more in the details of how I beat Pokemon Leaf Green, because that one in of itself is a fun story. But other than that, though, I'm doing pretty good. Kind of excited. Things are kind of escalating with NFL free agency, also in terms of baseball. It's going to be opening day fairly soon, like another a week or so from now. Actually, no, 12 days.
Hmm.
About 12 days. Yeah, 12 days.
Yeah, it's always the end of the month.
And yep, the last Thursday of the month. But yeah, that's pretty much. How have you been doing, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm all right. Clinging and banging as always. Kind of a crazy week for me. Just starting a new job and all that, getting back into the
Nice.
flow of working and stuff like that, and getting back to a sleep schedule. So it's been a little bit of an issue getting it back into like. Luckily I don't get up at the ass of dawn like I'm so used to over the years, but still, getting back into like, oh, I need to go to bed by a certain time, and like having an alarm again and all that. So interesting, and getting back to the flow of working and all that and stuff. So yeah, I don't know, whatever. But it's been nice. It's nice going back to work and getting out and not being in the house all day. As much as I love hanging out with my dog more than anything in the world, playing some video games and watch TV is always nice. But makes you appreciate it more though when you can like get off work and enjoy all that. But yeah, no, been fine, Cleo. Like I said, clanging and banging as always. I'm out of beer, Gables. But I bought these. I found these Pizza Hut, the old school red cups from Pizza Hut,
What?
Coca-Cola glasses online. And I ordered some recently, and I am drinking. I got a CZ and Jack Daniels in here. It's Coke Zero for you uninformed out there. So I'm drinking in my Pizza Hut Coca-Cola cups, red cups here, the plastic ones. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, because you're too young out there, guys, you are missing out. That was life fell apart. I mean, if there's one thing I can never forgive Reggie Fils-Aimé for, as much as I love that man, was him getting rid of Pizza Huts and the dine-in portions of it and just making them all to go
Huh.
and delivery. Because man, nothing's better than we peaked as a society when going to a Pizza Hut buffet and just sitting there eating Pizza Hut. Oh man, that was good shit with those big ass lights and the big ass the big huge red plastic cups with the Coca Cola sign on them. Um, yeah, so I'm drinking that
Nice.
tonight. Go ahead, Gables.
I was just about to say, now you see, you had the chance to enjoy Pizza Hut way back when, but I kind of had similar type of memories and stuff from a couple of different pizza places. One of them was like called Godfather's Pizza,
Yeah,
which
Godfathers.
that
We had
one,
Godfathers.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. So
did the
the
little
one
tiny
that was,
pepperonis. It was the best.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that one I remember going to a long time ago, like in the early 90s, because it had also arcade cabinets and everything, and so
Mm-hmm.
you could play arcade stuff while you wait for your pizza to go through and that stuff. And the kind of similar kind of aspect of what you were going through, great pizza, get to play some games, and then all of a sudden when your pizza's done, you get to eat some good stuff.
Oh, so good.
But unfortunately, with that place, like a fire happened inside there and ended up closing that building down, and so that business left the Pacific Northwest and stuff like that for other areas in Washington State.
Yeah,
And in its place is like just multitude of multiple like Chinese restaurants and stuff that have been just coming in and out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like we had a Godfather on this side of town. They used to go to quite a bit, and it closed about probably 25 years ago. I was very young,
Wow.
but there actually is still one Godfather's Pizza. I have not been to it yet. I don't, but it's like I didn't know Godfather's was still a thing. I just assumed it was gone.
Yeah,
Um,
same here.
yeah, but we have one Godfather's. Actually, I shouldn't. At least a few years ago, it was still there. I have not driven by. It's not in like it's an area I never go to, so I wouldn't know if it's still there. But it's like a little strip mall, so I don't think you can sit there and eat, but it's like you can get it to go and
Yeah.
stuff. And they don't deliver. Because I remember I've looked a couple times to try to get it actually delivered to me, and they don't actually have that option. But yeah, I used to love Godfather's Pizza because it was like thick. The cheese was awesome, and they had the little tiny pepperonis on them. I'm like, oh man.
Yes.
Now,
While you're saying that, I'm like researching like where the closest Godfather's Pizza is for where I'm living at here, and
Gills
it's
might make a trip.
all, dude, and it's like all the way in Tacoma, Washington.
I'll
Oh,
say
Jesus
it'd be
Christ.
funny if it was it's like the closest one is the one I'm talking about. It's like Gables, I'm gonna have to fly you out here, buddy. It'll be our first meetup finally after all these years. We can finally meet up and we're gonna have Godfather's Pizza.
Oh my God.
I'll bring my Pizza Hut cups though, for the moment. Yeah. Oh man. Man, reminisce about eating pizzas and the pizza and actually in a pizza inside
Mm,
and like
mm.
dining in. Oh man, the good old days when we were young and our backs didn't hurt and I wasn't as fat. Oh god, sounds amazing. But anyways, this is believe it or not a pizza podcast. This is a podcast about video games. I'm Tyler. That's Gables. We get together every week and talk about video
Mm.
games, everything we love about them. We're just two guys with full-time jobs, and we just do this because we love it. We do it for the love of the game. So if you want to support us, you don't want to have like a Patreon or anything like that, but if you do want to support us, please like us, subscribe to us in all the places. Every podcast service we're available on them. We're on YouTube, stuff like that. So whatever it is, the thing you have to do, the 5 stars, the thumbs ups, the subscribes, whatever you can help us out with, we really appreciate it. Honestly, the best way though would be to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us. We are getting close to 600 subscribers.
Hey.
Which would be awesome. We're like at like 580 right now. It'd be awesome though if we eventually want to get to 1,000. We can actually make some ad revenue off of doing these podcasts. Like I said, we do this as a thing that we love to do. So we usually get together on Saturday nights. Recording goes up Sunday morning. There's like like some sort of like video game thing going on. We'll usually do some live reacts to it if we're able to. But like I said, we just do it because we love video games. And Gables and I both got our silver medals from Extra Life this past year. We're both rocking them right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching the video version, that is, Gables and I do a really cool video game charity we've been doing for over a decade now.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's fun. We both raised over $500 a piece. So after you get over $500, you get the silver medal. If you get to 1,000, you get a gold medal. We didn't, but so we both got over 500, and we got our silver medals. We got these in the mail recently, so we're gonna rock those today. So as appreciation to all the donations out there, and just because we love Extra Life, so you should support them. Extra-life.org.
Yep.
Check it out. It's a really cool charity raising money for children's hospitals all around the country. So it'd be great if you can check it out. But Gables, without further ado, not a lot of news going on right now, Gables, in the gaming world. I went through several websites, everything like that. I always keep track and keep notes in our show notes, and really not a lot going on. Stuff like that. We did have GDC and stuff, so some like a lot of cool trailers out there for some indie games going on right now. Like the mix was happening. So that was kind of fun. Like I've added some games to my wish list and stuff like that. We got some details on like some release dates for some indie game stuff. But kind of the most interesting thing though is that last week they talk about like they kind of revealed, like Xbox that is, revealed that there were like the Project Helix is like the next their next gaming console. And like kind of like they were going to have a thing at GDC kind of explaining what that means. They had a whole like presentation talking about it, about PC integration and all this thing. Gables, I don't understand what the fuck any of this means. I'm like, I don't. Gables, do you have any better understanding of the Xbox PC integration?
At this moment in time, I don't understand just the full gist of it. All I know is that there is going to be Microsoft Pilot or something coming inside of like a future updates or some for Xbox Series X and S. So you pretty much got like some forms of like AI stuff going to be held, like kind of like probably like some sort of gaming pilot type of dealy thing, which I'm not too sure in time to in terms of entirely what it is, but at the same time, it's like, of course, it's going to be something AI related.
Yeah.
But as far as like integrations of like the PC and stuff to Xbox stuff, I haven't heard too much about that. But what I did hear is that they're going to be bringing back backwards compatibility stuff, like working on initial bringing like classic Xbox 360 games and stuff to be compatible with Series X and S and stuff. So that one was the more exciting thing that I saw from GDC out of Microsoft.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wonder though, in terms of just the licensing issues and stuff, like what games will actually be expanded upon, because that was the main reason why Phil Spencer back when decided to discontinue these backwards compatibility stuff, because there was a lot of legal nightmares in order to try to secure permissions from the different parties involved and stuff to try to get certain games on just backwards compatible.
Well,
I mean, yeah,
sorry to cut you off, but I mean, you can still do like backwards compatibility is still a thing. Like you can still technically play Xbox original games on your Series X and X right now. Like I can still boot up in like 360 games. Like the main thing they discontinued was like I can't remember what it was called, but it was basically they were like it was kind of like a thing where they would do like where they kind of up-res the games a little bit, and then also it would run
right.
at like a faster frame rate. So like a lot of games would like actually run at 60 frames per second or like a stable 30.
Oh yeah,
Like they got rid of that, and like yeah, I guess like the main thing though is like they did say that like yeah, like backwards compatibility, your library will move on to the next console. That's the main thing. They did say we'll stick
right.
around for like whatever Helix is. Um, but as far as like expanding on that, I don't know what it is because yeah, like I said, like a lot of it is just like legal nightmares of like it's like IP. Like they said a decade ago or whatever it was when they first announced the backwards compatibility stuff. It was like all they gotta do is like get the permission from like the studios. Like they'll like Xbox and Microsoft will do the work to make these things run better and be available on the console. It's just they gotta get approval from the companies that own the games, and I'm sure a lot of those things like it's a logistic nightmare because it's probably a bunch of different IPs. A lot of these companies are probably gone.
Yeah.
Who knows? Companies don't know actually who owns the rights to these things anymore. So yeah, I think that I mean that's I don't know. I don't know how much more they're gonna like expand
Well,
upon that.
all I know is I hope, because since now they own like Activision and stuff like that, Activision Blizzard, that they go and get some of like the lesser known like licensed games and stuff that are really freaking expensive in terms of on the 360 because they're not backwards compatible for the Series X. Like say Shattered Dimensions, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions comes to mind in terms of
Yeah.
that stuff. But other than like just specific games involved and stuff, I'm kind of interested in seeing what other games are going to get either brought to this backwards compatibility thing or just pretty much like get that sort of treatment like you were saying, like get it up to about 1080p or get some just kind of like how certain games like Mirror's Edge and Gears of War and those games got all these different types of adjustments and stuff. I mean, I hope they do that with like say like with Fable 2. I mean, because I'm gonna be clear and stuff. Whenever you put like a copy of Fable 2, it doesn't look like they actually that there's anything that's done to it. It actually looks like the native like 360
Mm-hmm.
resolution.
Yeah, I mean those like a lot of those games like they are just like you literally are booting up a 360 when you
Yep,
play 360 games. So yeah, like a lot of those games did not get that treatment. So
true.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like I'm confused by this whole PC like I mean this is something what Phil Spencer talked about too is like they're gonna like there's been like the talks over about potentially Steam being available on this Xbox new console and like it'll be more of an open thing and I, like in theory that would be awesome. Like as a consumer, that'd be awesome if I can like play my Steam games and my Xbox games all in one thing, like and not have to like jump it through any hoop. Like I know with the Steam Deck, like they'll pretty much let you do whatever you want. Like people like talk all the time.
Right.
They'll have a lot of games that they got through a different kind of service for free to play on those
Hmm.
things, and then also like you hear about people like yeah they play like there's workarounds where you could put like Game Pass on your thing and play Xbox games or um, and stuff like that. But like it'd be great as like a consumer if like I can just press a button or just like with like or it's just like an option there on my Xbox. I guess though like it's one of those things where it's like it's just like too good to be true. It's like these companies like I mean especially like Microsoft it's like if they like money they want as much money as possible and I guess like why would they put Steam on this thing? Because like they're like, and why would Steam?
No, right?
Why would Valve want them to like want this service on there? Like, because like okay, like I don't see Microsoft wanting this on the like our like Xbox might want to do it, but like I don't see Microsoft like why are we gonna put somebody else's storefront on our console, and then like we're not even gonna get the cut from this, or we might get like some of the cut for this thing, like like all these consoles, like most of these storefronts get a 30% cut of whatever you buy on it. It's like why would you want like Steam on this thing and we don't get it? We lose the cut of that because when they could have bought it on here, or like and if I'm Valve, it's like why would I want to put this on here and give you a cut of something that I don't want? And I can understand the argument. It's like, hey, that's more options for people. Like that's one more product that people will have in their home. That like that means more people will buy things on there. But it's like also it's like
Right.
I don't know. It's like especially like now Steam is like hopefully putting on a Steam machine. Like I said, like as a consumer, it's great. Like I've said over and over again, in a perfect world, there's just be one goddamn console, and everybody just puts all their games on one console or PC, whatever you want to call it. And it's like I just have all the things on one thing. I don't have to buy 4 different platforms to get 4 different consoles to get all the games out there. Like Gables are the hardcore. The hardcore. We have Steam Decks. We have Switch 2s.
Yep.
We have PS5s. We have the Xbox Series X. Now Gables and I both have an S and an X. Gables and I both bought the PS5 and bought a Slim, and then upgraded to a Slim. I don't understand it. Like I am a dum dum when it comes to PCs and all that. I just don't I listen to people are much smarter than me. Try to explain this, and even like sounds like they don't know. Like I don't understand like the whole like because it's like honestly most consoles are just a PC already. It's like okay like I mean like Xbox has been doing this whole PC integration with games coming to PC day one and Game Pass on PC Game Pass and all that already. And it's like I mean basically like a game Xbox is basically just a Windows machine at this point. Like I don't know. And obviously they got to do something different because they got to do something different to kind of stand out in the next line of generations. And I'm just confused like you mentioned. Go ahead.
Well, that's just the thing though. I mean, part of the reason why people are so confused about it is because essentially Xbox is already like kind of integrated for PC in some aspects of it already. Like you're just saying, the Xbox is pretty much like a Windows running machine and stuff like that. And a lot of the first party Xbox games are on multiple platforms, including Steam. So it's like, why the hell would we even want to invest inside of a thing called Helix and stuff? Because if you're just going to tout that this thing is pretty much like akin to like PC and Xbox like integrated and stuff, why the fuck would I even want that if I could just stick with my computer, download the whatever type of like Xbox games that's on Steam, and just do it that way without having to spend another $1,500 for something I don't even know what the hell is gonna differentiate itself from the next line of consoles, like a PS6 or whatever Nintendo comes up with or whatever, know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can understand, like, in theory, okay, if it has Steam and Xbox on it, like, if I'm a consumer and, like, okay, like, I can't afford to have a PC and an Xbox, or I gotta pick one. I'm like, I'm gonna, like, that's, like, oh, I'll buy the Xbox console, because I'll have Steam and Xbox on it, and it's like, so I can see the argument. It's like, hey, but, like, again, why would Valve want to do that, and why would Microsoft want them to do that? It's just like, I don't know, like I said, in theory, it sounds great, but, like, these are all gigantic corporations that they want more. They want to make more money, not less. Even if it's great for the consumers, they don't care. They want more money. So I don't know. I just one of the things where I think it's just like I don't think anybody fully understands it. And when I've read the transcripts, I've listened to people much smarter than me try to explain it to like the best of like what their knowledge is. And I don't. I like I said. I don't. Like I said, in theory, it sounds fantastic. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand how it's going to work. And like I said, it's so funny though with the Copilot thing. I'm like, hey, we're bringing Copilots. It's like, okay, first off, what is it going to do? And it is funny. Like the first thing that when we got the new CEO, she said, we're not going to bring AI slop to the Xbox. And it wasn't even 2 weeks. And we're already getting Copilot on the Xbox.
Slop is on the fucking Xbox.
Yeah, it's like it's already coming. It's like the first like major like one of the first things they announced is Project Helix and Copilot. I think it's just the way they're like we spent billions upon billions of dollars to try to make this thing work, and prove it's necessary, and no one's really using it. So we're just gonna keep forcing you to use it even if you don't want to. So I don't know. The other thing, Gables, kind of sticking with it, is there's been some reports. Obviously, take everything with a grain of salt. That potentially. So one thing we do know is that Xbox did say that the like basically the dev kits will be going to developers and publishers and stuff in 2027. And then there's been some other reports out there that possibly the PS6 and Project Helix, whatever the new Xbox will be called, may actually still come out next winter. So winter, 2027.
Oh my gosh. The funniest part about that, and the reason why I had to stop and just take a laugh here for a moment, I don't doubt that they're going to try to release next fall or whatever the hell and stuff, but at the same point, I'm just kind of curious what the interest will be inside of the actual reveals of these systems, and also in terms of how much they would actually sell. And honestly, the number one thing is how much they're going to cost.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to put it out so soon and stuff like that, I mean, they better be hitting it out of the park with these things, dude.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about like potential $1,500 systems.
Yeah, I don't. I think 15 is insane. I mean, obviously, who knows? Like, fucking, what? It seems like every week, just like things get crazier. But yeah, like I don't. I think I don't know. I could 1,000. I don't feel like is incredibly ridiculous. Is potentially a price point for these things. But like, if you told me it was 1,000, I think that I honestly at this point right now 1,000 I think is the high end. But like I said, I mean, who knows how things are going to go with everything, obviously with the RAM and all that. I mean, but if you like, everything was normal. There was no craziness. Everything was going as good. Like everything was just normal, like what it was, before RAM shortages and AI and all that shit. I just I don't know what the need is yet. I feel like look, and I'm not someone like there's a lot of people out there bitching and complaining about there's like no games, and I'm like that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard because like there's literally 25,000 plus games that come out every year. There's games out there for everybody, you're just not playing them. And like I've said over and over, like I said, I have all 4 consoles. Obviously Nintendo Switch will eventually be a thing I'm happy with buying. As far like I'm happy with buying it now, but like as far as like 5 years from now, if I go back and look, I'm like, man, that was a great console. And I think with this generation, it's obviously weird because COVID kicked in. We went kind of long with like cross generation gaming in there, but like as far as like these consoles go, I think it's been a really good generation. As far as like there's been a lot of really good first party games on PlayStation and Xbox, and maybe there's like these been like generational games on Xbox, but they've had some good first party games on there. Game Pass, I'm someone that actually likes Game Pass. I know everybody likes shit on it. It's different for everybody, but like I like the games that Xbox puts out. There's a lot of good 8s out there, and I understand like people want the God of War Ragnaroks. They want those like these greatest games of all times, and they don't have those. Like I'm someone that loves PlayStation, like first party PlayStation like single player games, and like there's been a good chunk of them. Like also like even like some of the games they've done deals with like Final Fantasy 16 and stuff like that. Like even the third party games, obviously amazing. Indie games, amazing. There's like I've already said there's like I have a list with like 40 plus games on it this year that are coming out, from small indie games to the biggest games of the year, like as far as like commercially go. On for 2026 already, it's mid-March of like games to look forward to, and we haven't even got the Summer Game Fest yet. Like we haven't had like our actual Nintendo Direct yet. So yeah, like I think this has been a good generation, but I look at like where I was. If you flash back to like okay, where I was, the consoles came out. We're in year 6, so this would be like with the PS4, Xbox One generation. This is early 2019. Okay, we're talking March 2019. By that point, man, I was ready for the new consoles because I was so frustrated by how slow these consoles moved. I complained for years about the jet engine. It sounded like I remember I told the story before. Like my girlfriend at the time, I remember playing games on my console, and I was in the living room playing games. She was in the bedroom, and the PlayStation was the PS4 was. I had my headphones on, couldn't hear it. The PlayStation was so loud it woke her up and she had to come out. She thought she was scared. She thought something. She didn't know what was happening. So I think like we had like it really felt like we had maxed out last generation, and those consoles were hanging on by like every time I tried to thing on and play the game, I was like, is this thing gonna blow up in like in my house right now? And like talk about the Xbox, I had the Xbox One X and I had the PS4 Pro, um, and this time around it's like the games still run really well. Like every game is like at least 60 frames per second. Like and if there's any issues with like hitching and like games not running well, it's on the game and not the actual like console itself. Like obviously we both in the last like 6 months or so upgraded to slims, but like they're pretty quiet. They might have a little rev up when you first turn it on, but they're pretty quiet. Like the games, there's still a ton of great games coming out for it. Like I said, there's like you can play games at 4K, you can play games at 1080. Like yeah, I guess like if you want the ray tracing, you want like the high end shit, they don't do it. But I also look at like when the PS4 Pro came out, that was like that thing sold really well. The second half of the generation, that was a big boost to the PlayStation's. Same with the Xbox One X, that was a big boost to the second half of that generation. And like I look at the PS5 Pro came out last year. Obviously, it's $700, and now I think it's more. I think it's like $750 now. But when that came out, like, and people were upset with the prices. Like I couldn't understand the upset, but my argument was like, this is more of a boutique thing. This is gonna be for the high end people. And even like the hardest or the hardcore that could afford this type of thing, it's like, yeah, I don't really feel the need for it. It's like when the PS4 Pro came out, it's like they had something like, hey, HDR is a big thing here, 4K is a big thing here, and it's like, yeah, that was the big thing, was HDR and 4K. We had this big, huge technology move on to, and it made a drastic difference on games playing. When I remember playing like when I was playing Titanfall 2, and playing that went from playing on a base console to playing on a Pro. I'm like, holy shit, this is it felt like almost like a full like we're in a new generation now. And I look at like this and I'm like, what's like the next big thing to get me? Like, why do I need to buy the PS6? Why do I need to buy the Xbox from a hardware other than like the exclusivity part? Obviously that's the main thing, is like where the big exclusives that are going to come to this, but like what's the big technical, like usually when there's new thing comes out, it's like there's a new technological new thing, like the graphics are even better. It's like I love the Xbox, I love the PS5 Pro. I'm happy with my Xbox Series X, mainly just because like yeah, the games look really good, but like they just run better, and like there's no like I said, like I remember bitching and complaining. I'm like, just trying to go in the PlayStation Store and buy a game. To buy a game on the PlayStation Store, like would take minutes because it would take so long to load, and sometimes it would just air out. Like I could not like. I could not buy games on the PS4 because the store was so shitty and the console was so slow that it couldn't do anything. And now it's like everything's great. Like these things run well. They don't feel like they're about to fall apart on me or blow up on me. The games are still running great on it. It's like, what's that? And like I said, what's that big thing? Like when that PS4 Pro, like I said, came out, that like, oh my god, this is like a game changing thing. And like when the PS5 Pro was like, okay, I guess like ray tracing is a thing. That's kind of cool, I guess. But it's like. It's just like a marginal. It's just like a marginal improvement, and like I don't know. I just don't know like what is like the big thing that's gonna make us want to buy the new console outside of like, and maybe when GTA 6 comes out, maybe that's like, oh my god, this thing is like these consoles are barely holding on. But I feel like that's it for like the next little while here is like the big thing. But like I don't know, Gables, like I mean, what's kind of your mindset of like potentially the new consoles?
I feel like that with this generation, we are at the point of diminishing returns. Quintessentially, this feels like that this generation truly could go on for a little bit longer, and I would be perfectly happy with it personally,
Mm-hmm.
because there really hasn't been anything that's been a crux of what's so much different in terms of, say, for this generation as opposed to a lot of the things from last generation. Kind of similar complaints what people had when they migrated from the PS3 to the PS4 and like 360, the Xbox One stuff. I mean, obviously, there were visual improvements. There were some bits of like other types of good quality of life improvements too. But when it comes to modern gaming here, PS5, Xbox Series X, like at the Switch 2 now and stuff, and PC, all of those platforms and stuff, with even though they have different interfaces, have different storefronts, a lot of it just kind of feels like the same in terms of like their initial like their initial like fidelity with their initial performance stuff. There hasn't been really a great transition, that one main hook that will get you to invest inside of, say, this generation as opposed to the last generation. Now, for some, yeah, that does differ, because you have like faster speeds, PS5 and Xbox Series X. You have all these different types of games that it's exclusive and stuff. But yeah, I personally was kind of a little bit slower to go into the PS5 generation in terms of this stuff because I looked at a lot of the games I have for PS4. I'm like, there's really not too much different I can do from here to there to starting off with, and that's what kind of like a lot of people did because they stuck with their either their PS4s or their Xbox Ones and stuff because they didn't see the point of wanting to upgrade. And that's why I'm so concerned in terms of the next generation of stuff because there really has not been that one major hook that we know about that's going to convince people day one as, oh man, I need a PS6.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I need this Xbox Helix console. If you don't have sort of like a seismic sort of element that it has not been presented inside of gaming before, or does something like a major improvement upon stuff that have been crazy, for the past couple of gaming cycles and stuff. I mean, it's going to be kind of similar aspects to where people are not going to be wanting to invest in these next generation consoles because they'll see like little like incremental improvements. And if things go on still with like the tariff stuff, the yeah, the tariff stuff and the whole RAM stuff and the inflated prices as they are, we're gonna even see an even lower of an adoption rate.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna have people that are still strictly on their systems and stuff. They got their free to play games. They got the games that they are still happy with playing with. And I feel like that's part of the reason why kind of Sony from their limelight and stuff kind of is like pulling back exclusives and stay from Steam, like inside of future releases. Besides Death Stranding 2, they already got the deal going on with that.
Yeah.
Is because they want to try to maximize people wanting to buy the next PlayStation without it being like, oh, hey, they're exclusives or something like that's going to come on the Steam too. I'm not going to buy a PS6. I'm going to do this right here and just wait a couple of years and do this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess like you don't need to have like that big transformational thing, now. But like, I think like I said, the main issue is just like like when because like going from PS4 to PS5 and Xbox One series consoles, like yeah, they're basically the same exact storefront. I mean, it's like the Switch 1, the Switch 2. It's like they're like you turn them on, they're basically the exact same machine. They just run better.
Yeah.
And it's like that's what it is. I mean, it's gonna get to the point where eventually, yeah, like when I turn the PS5 on, there's gonna be a point where like for the last like 4 years of the Switch, I was like, man, I want that Switch Pro. Like I was begging for a Switch Pro from like I don't know 2020, 2021 on, because I'm like, man, this thing runs like shit. It sounds like
right.
Mine was I had a launch Switch, and like mine sounded it's loud. There's like a humming noise coming from it. I'm like I just want, and like obviously the games were not running well on it anymore, and we've seen a lot of that, and like then the Switch came, we were ecstatic to buy it, just so the games will run better, and also it doesn't sound like mine doesn't sound so bad anymore, and like same thing like I said, like with the PS, my biggest frustration towards the end of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One was just like these consoles sound bad when I turn them on, and they just run like garbage, and like eventually yeah we'll get to that point, but like we are not like they've honestly it's the thing like they just did a really good job I think with like designing these machines. That's why you can argue about the looks of them. I guess I know people don't like the way they look, and I'm not really too. I really like it's on my shelf. I can see it, but I really don't look at my consoles that much. So like, it don't really bother me that often. Like, I don't really have people over, so that's also their thing. But like, I don't know. I just at a certain point, like these, yeah, when these things start running slowly and getting worse, but like, and the games don't work well on them, then I'll be happy. Even if these things were like at like they were $400 or $500, and they're at a affordable price point. Obviously, like $400 or $500 a lot to people. Like if they were the general price point there we used to for consoles, obviously that will not be the case when these things come out. But like, yeah, like I don't know. I could like if I'm PlayStation, I'm like, why am I in a hurry to get to the next console? Other than like, I guess they can maybe they're afraid of like Xbox might have this great plan, and they don't want like Xbox to get the jump on them by a year. I can understand why Xbox wants to hurry up, move on to the next console. But honestly, though, like with this new leadership coming in, maybe it's like if there's gonna be a lot of change. Like I said 2 weeks ago, they're like, yeah, we're not bringing AI to Xbox, and then 2 weeks later, we're bringing AI to Xbox. So it's like, I mean, what are the like? I think they need to like, it might be just best for them for a year, have a year to like, I don't know, figure out like. I feel like a lot of plans are probably set in stone for what these new consoles are gonna be, what they're gonna look like. But maybe it's like, and I would say honestly, giving all these developers and publishers a year to have these things out and just work on them and understand them and like all that would be good too. So like, yeah, I don't know. And obviously cross gen is gonna be a big thing. And like you said, Gables, like, I mean, the big part people didn't move on is because like, I mean, now you look at like the majority of like gamers are playing free to play games, and yeah, they can still play their Fortnite and the War Zones and shit on PS4s and Xbox Ones. So if you start bringing these things out and they're super expensive and there's no need to upgrade, you're just gonna, yeah, it's gonna be even harder. And it's like the hardest thing, honestly, nowadays with anything is like people are quick to like people are like nowadays with buying things like optional things. It's like people are trying to find reasons not to buy something. When I see it, like when there's a game coming out, I'm like, that looks kind of interesting, and I find out like it's okay. And it's like, okay, it's not about spy. It's like honestly a little bit of relief. I'm like, okay, it's one less game. Like like I said, there's already 40 games I'm looking forward to this year. Cool, that's one less game I have to worry about playing this year. Like there's a little bit of relief there. I'm like, awesome. So it's like people are actively right now trying to find reasons not to buy something. And if these things come out and they are immediately deemed uncool or unnecessary, it is so hard to change that mindset because people love to shit on things. That is just like the people, like whether it's headlines, YouTube thumbnails, people just getting mad on the internet. Like people love to shit on things, and if you give them a reason to shit on things, even if that is no longer like it takes them a couple of years, and like that thing is no longer that's actually no longer true. It's like that's in people's mind. The first thing they see is what they believe, and you can have all the evidence out there. They don't care. They don't see it. They don't see it anymore, and it's like it'll be so hard to like turn things around later in that generation. Like even like I said, these things come out 2027, and they finally, and they're just not great. They're like even if they're good, but they're not great, or they don't have these like killer apps right away. And then 2029, 2030, they have like there's like 10 great games you have to buy on these. You can only play on PS6. It's like the mindset's already there for all these people. It's like I don't need it. I moved on, you know. So that's the thing. Like yeah, like I said, like I don't know. Like I'll be someone that will probably eventually buy a PS6, and like I said, I'll be glad to buy. I love video games. I'm gonna buy one or whatever. But like yeah, I don't. As a consumer, as someone like I said, we're just two guys that we love video games. We do this for fun. We don't make money off of this. Yeah, I mean, obviously, affording one of these things, that's a whole different story. We're just talking from the standpoint of like the necessity of this thing. Like even if it was $400, like why would I buy this? So I don't know. But Gables, negative enough. Gables, every week I want to come on here and just be positive and have a good time. It's about video games. I love video games. And every week I'm like, I'm trying to like just find fun, exciting things to talk about. And there's not a lot of fun, exciting things to talk about. But Gables, we do have some fun, smaller stuff here. That's a little fun, exciting to talk about here, Gables. Pokemon Pokopia came out last Thursday. Gables, in the first 4 days of being out exclusively on Switch 2, sold 2.2 million units.
That's actually really impressive. I mean, obviously the Pokemon IP is definitely strong regardless, and people will buy anything that's like really Pokemon related. But still, the success of this, I think, is more warranted to where it's just like a completely different type of Pokemon game. Obviously, it definitely has like borrows elements and stuff from other types of games and from like that particular genre, like say Minecraft and like excuse me, Animal Crossing as well, mixed in with like kind of like a Pokemon flair and stuff. But yeah, I'm fairly happy that people are really enjoying Pokopia.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw someone say the other day. It's like man, this reminds me of when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out. It's like the same week that like obviously COVID hit. It's like the same thing. It was like I'm playing my Switch, having a great time, but then every time I look at the news, I just want to scream into the void. It's like it's the same thing now. I'm playing Pokemon Pokopia on my Switch too, and every time I look at the news, I just want to scream into the void. It's like it's just a cycle. And it's like it was like mid-March when both these things happened. That's very funny. I guess Doom Eternal came out that same week. I guess Resident Evil Requiem is as the Doom Eternal this time around. Another cool thing here. Silent Hill 2 passed 5 million units sold. So that's pretty cool. That's
Right.
awesome. I love that game. Silent Hill F is also fantastic. So to celebrate, both Silent Hill 2 and Silent Hill F are half off right now if you want to buy those things. And I
Nice.
recommend Silent Hill F was one of my favorite games last year. Silent Hill 2 I made my top 10 last in 2024. Both phenomenal games. I cannot wait for Townfall later this year. Other thing here, Gables, as the it was kind of like the I guess like the video game news for Mario Day on Tuesday. They announced the release date. We got a new trailer for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and that is coming out
Mhm.
May 21st. Any excitement for that one, Gables?
Good. Well, I'm kind of interested in seeing how this game is going to perform, obviously. I want to see some more gameplay videos and stuff and see how I initially feel about it. It's got that some of those vibes and stuff from like Yoshi's Island and stuff,
Hmm.
but at the same point, I'm kind of like being cautiously optimistic about it because I do know that a lot of these Yoshi games are more structured for like say younger gamers, and
Yeah.
so some of the aspects of it are going to be a little bit more simplistic. I mean, what'll really get me into playing like a Yoshi game in modern day 2026 here is just basically if it's something that is intuitively fun to play, not overtly easy to the fact to at this and to a point to where it's just being stupidly, oh okay, here, well, let's just walk you through this stuff, and so that way you can do this and that, kind of
Hmm.
like some other Nintendo games have done in the past. But yeah, just a lot of the variety, some bits of difficulty factors here and there. That's kind of like what I really would like to see from this new Yoshi game. Kind of like similar difficulty aspects in terms of say like Yoshi's Island too.
Okay.
Just
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm someone that I really loved Woolly World on Yoshi's Woolly World on
yeah,
Wii U. I made it my top 10. I think that was like 2014 or 15. That was a really good game. Then I was really excited for Crafted World. I think that was 2019 that came out. And I played it for like probably like an hour or two. And I was just like, this is fucking like just boring. It was so brain dead. Like, they just went so brain dead easy with it. And like, I mean, Woolly World wasn't super hard, but it was like a fun, really charming platformer, and that was just like, I mean, it was borderline walking simulator, and like they have great designs. I hope this is closer to Woolly World, and like also I would just love to have play a game on have a game I'm really looking forward to on Switch 2 to play this year, like Pokopia. Like as much as I love Pokemon, Pokopia is just I'm not an Animal Crossing guy or anything like that. Like that's not my thing. So, yeah, like it'd be nice. I just want to buy something for my Switch this year. So I hope it's good. I really do because I'm honestly just put fucking Woolly World on the goddamn Switch. I cannot believe that's like the one Wii U game that has not come to fucking Switch. It drives me goddamn wild. But yeah, it looks cute, looks charming, and I want to be excited to play it. Um, and then last, not so good news, Gables. So we talked about this last year, Gables. And I said don't be shocked that if early next year this happens, and in fact it did happen. EA had massive amounts of layoffs at all the Battlefield studios this past week. Thousands of jobs were lost, which is unfortunate. It's crazy to think that Gable's like the best-selling game of 2025. For the first time ever, they outsold fucking Call of Duty, and they laid a bunch of people off. Gables, I don't know if you remember this, but what was the goal for EA to sell for Battlefield 6?
let's see, what was the goal for it to sell? I want to say like what 100 million or something like that.
Exactly. They were hoping that EA's goal for Battlefield 6 was to sell 100 million
Dude,
copies.
dude, I just pulled that number out of my ass and stuff, and I got it the first try. 100 million. Are you fucking joking? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How much money did they end up putting into this to Battlefield 6 in order to try to justify having that type of investment, dude?
I don't think it's like I just think that's how much money they wanted out of they want to I don't even think Call of Duty's like we don't get Call of Duty sales figures ever.
No.
But even Call of Duty's I don't believe sell 100 million copies. So I don't know
Wow.
what they were expecting here. Especially it's been out for 5 months.
It's been out for 5 months and stuff.
Yeah.
It's one of the most successful games of last year,
Mm.
and yet you have all these development studios and everything else, and these staff and people just getting laid off.
Yeah. Yeah.
God bless, dude.
Yeah.
Just another drip in the pan for the AAA games industry kind of imploding on itself.
Well, the good news is Gables though is Saudi Arabia is taking over shortly, so they'll fix everything. Don't worry. Um, David Kushner and the Saudis are here to help, so should go great. But Gables, let's get some fun, exciting things here. Let's go back to the good side here. What's up with what we've been playing, Gables? Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Sure. I've gone first last couple times. Let's have you go first this time, Tyler.
Okay. So I haven't played much this week. Just been, obviously busy with new job, and I wasn't home much today as I was hoping to. My plan was to play a bunch of Playing Alana 2, and then just I wasn't home, so wasn't able to do that. I did play. I talked about a lot last week. I'll talk about more next week here. Been playing more Marathon. It's continuing. Like, man, like I think honestly the worst part about this game is that it just gets like it's kind of like overwhelming at first, and like they don't just kind of throw you in the deep end.
Yeah.
But like, man, like the further you get into it, like, and things start to make more sense. You start to understand things on how things work. The better this game just gets, and I'm having more fun with it. And like I've been doing a lot more now in like there's the beginner, the medium, and like the hard map. I'm not got to the hard map yet, but I've been spending more time in like the medium map, and that has been a ton of fun. I'm really liking that. Like, and like, oh, okay, when they give me a job, like, I'm not reading the lore. I'm not like, I have no fucking clue what's going on. It's like same with Destiny. It's like I'm like, I don't fucking know what the fuck's going on here. I'm just shooting shit, and like trying to accomplish the task it tells me to accomplish. But like, okay, I'm starting to understand like what they're telling when they tell me to go do this thing. I'm understanding what they mean by it. But like, yeah, just like going in, and like, obviously it helps too. Like when you jump in with a good team of people, jumping with randos. It's just been a ton of fun. Like once I'm understanding it and like getting some better gear, stuff like that, like I'm having a good time. And they did do a update here, like because you can bring in like free, like they'll give you like they're called like sponsored kits, and like they actually did an update this week, where like now the sponsored kits are better because you basically just get a gun, a couple health kits, and like no ammo, so you would like quickly like run out of like ammo, and you're just kind of fucked after that. They've done it now where you got more stuff, you got more ammo when you start off with, and some more health kits, so it makes it a little bit easier, and it's not as grueling. So that's been a lot, especially like going in like, all right, like I'm jumping in, I'm trying to figure out like I'm gonna die a lot. Like I've going on the medium level here, running into a lot more like other people, stuff like that, and like the contracts are a little harder to pull off now. So I have not been exfilling as much. Like I've died a lot. So I did have one. I did play like 3 games. I'm like, I got a little cocky. I'm like, I'm gonna bring in some better shit, and I died within like 2 minutes. I'm like, God damn it! So I had to walk away for a minute. But I'm still having a good time with that one. I think I'm like level 10 or 11 now. But then the other thing I've been playing. I finally bought this. This came out. It was a shadow drop from the Nintendo Indie World. I've been playing Rotwood. This is from the people that made Don't Starve. This is like I think it's on PC, but it's exclusively on Switch 2 for consoles. I think it's like $25. But it is like a 2D. I guess not 2D, but it kind of reminds me of like a Castle Crashers. Kind of has the art design, that look to it. But it is a beat 'em up game. Gable's headset died. He can't hear me, I don't think. Oh,
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
I can hear you. I'm just plugging in before this thing actually goes and just powers down.
Okay. I just see you massively scrambling and you had a cord in your hand. I'm like, what does he do? Oh, he's okay. Anyways, yeah. So this is like I said, it reminds me like the way it plays, the way it kind of looks is like it reminds me a lot of like Castle Crashers, if people remember that, like kind of that. But you can like you move forward and back, but it's all from like a side view, like a beat 'em up. And I think the combat is fun. It's not great, but it's fun. It's pretty simple. It's like you have the strong attack, the combo attack, the base, like your basic attack, stuff like that. And then like, but it, like there's different level, like different like stages you go into. But it is actually technically a roguelike. But like I beat the first world took me like 3 tries, and it's not very long. It took me like 10 minutes, I think, if you like get through and beat the boss. Then I beat the second one the first try, and then I can't beat the third area. I tried a few times and died. I played probably 2 hours of it so far, and I'd say like it is like it does bring me back some of that, like I said, like I love Castle Crashers back on the Xbox, like one of those early XBLA games. But like it's not like wowing me as far as like, especially coming off of like Scott Pilgrim EX, and like nowadays we like beat 'em ups are like are like really are getting better and better, and we're getting more of them.
Yes.
But like I like it. It's a good game. I would recommend it actually. If you are like I said, if you're something like beat 'em ups, like this is gonna be the best one ever. But if you're looking for more of that, especially if you like a Castle Crashers, like this is a pretty good one of those. I wouldn't say it's overly hard. Like there are like I would say it's like honestly it reminds me it's closer to like Absalom than
Okay.
anything else as well. Like which Absalom I fucking love. This is like I don't know like it's not wowing me or anything like that. Like I don't feel like oh man I can't like when I walked away from it I played it for a little bit. I'm like that was good. Like but I'm not like jonesing to jump back into it. I'm probably gonna do a few more runs and stuff like that. But it's like just because there's not like really too much more I'm gonna be playing for a little bit. So I'll probably keep dabbling in it, but it's not like this is not run out by. But I would say like throw it on the wish list. Wait for it to get a little cheaper. I think it's like I said, I think it's like $20-$25. But it's a cool game. I think it's a good game, but it's not like it's like a solid 7.5 kind of game. Which unfortunately nowadays 7.5, it could be a turn off to a lot of people. But I think it is a good game. But yeah, like I said, it's not like one you need to jump into. But Gables, what have you been playing?
All right. So I finished up the main story, the main adventure here for Pokemon Leaf Green. Finally. So far, I have gone through the Elite Four and the Champion and stuff of that sort. But how I got to that point, it was really kind of interesting. Heading into the Elite Four, two of my Pokemon were under 50, like level 50. One was actively level 48. I think that was Dodrio, and one was like 49. I think that was Venusaur. All the other ones were like anywhere from the early to mid 50s and stuff, with Starmie being like the more experienced of the of the lot, being like I think around 54 or something. Because I decided that I wanted to try to increase the levels of say like Starmie, especially towards entering into the final battle against the champion. But I can confidently say, even though I did struggle a bit in terms of like going through the first couple of battles and stuff, the first try I went into the Elite Four and Champion. I actually did it all in like just one go and stuff without having to save in between matches and stuff. Of course, I did healing items and like all this other various other stuff. Because the Elite Four and the Champion inside of this game are a little bit harder than opposed to, like, say, in the original Red, Blue, and Yellow. Because there's some aspects of the things that have changed. Obviously, some Pokemon have different abilities, have different natures. There are some different typing changes and stuff that do occur for some Pokemon. Not a lot of it, but. And also, with Agatha for her ghost type Pokemon like Gengar and like Haunter, they have Levitate, so ground moves are not going to be as effective. So you're pretty much forced to do like various psychic moves if you do have like a psychic type on your team. All right, so to begin things, I started off against Lorelei, and with her, she has all these various like water and ice types and stuff. So she starts off with Dugong, and Dugong is very chunky, like very chunky. Like if you go in it where you have like a special attacker or something like that that is kind of neutral damage against this thing, and it's like close to the level of it or a little bit lower, it is just going to tank some bit of it and then it's going to rest. And then you're going to be frustrated if you try to go into something else, right? And so I think that ended up happening, right? Where I whittled down its HP to about half and stuff. It used rest. I ended up switching out to a different Pokemon, actually into Raichu, I think. And I ended up getting rid of a bunch of the different Pokemon, but it was kind of a struggle because a few of my Pokemon got knocked out in that first battle, only because of Pokemon like Lapras and stuff with Blizzard and stuff. And I think the last Pokemon I ended up beating on her team right there after I put in, I think it was like Ninetales and stuff, was Jinx. Yeah, just knocking out Jinx with this Fire Blast and stuff. Which, fun fact and stuff, going into this initial fun, like Elite Four champion just run, I had taught Fire Blast to Ninetales, so it just has Flamethrower, Fire Blast, just in case they need a little bit more extra power to try to take out some of these chunkers that are trying to go. And what's surprising, though, is the next one of the for Bruno. I mean, it was also kind of a little bit tougher, only because my team was at that consistency of level and stuff where they would get most of the HP from like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. There's just like a little sliver left, and a couple of my Pokemon, and I think one of them actually ended up getting knocked out and stuff. But Starmie was definitely efficient in terms of getting rid of, like, say, Onyx, getting rid of like I think it was like Hitmonchan or something like that. But Machamp actually did actually like I think he either hit eliminated like Starmie or Vaporeon. But I end up going past Bruno. I end up going past like Agatha, even though Agatha was kind of a little bit. What was kind of funny is the first Elite Four member was the hardest one for me to go through. All the other ones were a little bit easier. So when I got to Agatha and stuff, I pretty much used Starmie and stuff, and Starmie would use Psychic, kind of whittle down different Pokemon. I would one hit KO like Arbok and Golbat and stuff, and then from there, Gengar and Haunter, they would take most of the hit and stuff, but it wasn't until after I kind of boosted up one of my Pokemon that I started to really just consistently just knock out a couple of her Pokemon. And then comes Lance. He starts off with a Gyarados, so obviously I start off with Raichu, and Raichu just does a one-hit kill with a good old Thunderbolt. And then with the Dragonair that he ends up putting in, like, there were two Dragonairs in a row. So I ended up putting in, I think it's Starmie. Yeah, Starmie I end up using because it knows Ice Beam. I think I was able to do two hit KOs each on Dragonair with the Ice Beams and stuff. Obviously, in comes his Aerodactyl. Actually, no. He decides to put in Dragonite because obviously everything else is not going his way and stuff. So I switch out Starmie in order to go and put in Vaporeon. Vaporeon hits a massive Blizzard attack at the right time and stuff, and ends up knocking out that Dragonite. And then lastly, you have the Aerodactyl, which is just use one Surf and it's just gone. So going into the champion battle, I've completely healed my team. I got all the moves, pretty much regenerated the most useful ones I'm going to be using. So I go in with a strategy. Okay, he's going to start off with Pidgeot. He's going to just start off with Pidgeot and stuff, and it's going to decide, based upon the switch-ins, based upon like what Pokemon I'm going to lead off with. So obviously, I lead off with Raichu. Raichu does Thunderbolt to Pidgeot. Pidgeot pretty much goes and takes like a little, what was it? All what was left is like a little sliver of health from this Thunderbolt. Because Pidgeot was like a level 61, I think it was. I was still like a level 53, 54, so it's not going to get the full-on effect of knocking out this damn thing. But use Sand Attack. I use Thunderbolt the very next turn, end up knocking out Pidgeot. And, I'm trying to think of what else the champion here had. Obviously, he had Charizard and stuff like that, which that was the very last Pokemon I ended up facing. But what's kind of interesting is Alakazam knocked out a good portion of my team, right? And how I eliminated Alakazam was kind of interesting, because I had used Raichu, because at that point I knocked out Gyarados. Raichu kept like getting damaged, like a little bit whittled down in the time and stuff. And so, as a latch dish effort, I outspeed the Alakazam. Actually, no. Yeah, I outspeed the Alakazam, but and then I hit a Thunder Wave, right? I hit Thunder Wave against Alakazam. That was like pretty much the first move I used against Alakazam. And it has the ability Synchronize to where if you inflict a status ailment on it, it'll reflect it back at you as well, so you suffer the ailment. So Alakazam's now outspeeding me, right? And I get enough damage on Alakazam to where it's like pretty close to a little over half. And so I'm thinking to myself, oh god, I need like a good thing right here. I got Dodrio here. Dodrio just took out like Executor and stuff like that. And so I put in Dodrio and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, what is Alakazam really weak against? Well, physical attacks, because it's great against special attacks because the special defense of it's incredibly high. But physical defense, it cannot really take all that much damage. So what did I do? I ended up teaching my Dodrio Double Edge, and Double Edge is a 120 power normal type move. And so I see Dodrio to go just knock out Alakazam, and I think it knocked out itself as well. And pretty much like both of them are knocked out. And so I eliminate Rhydon and stuff. And the very last thing, I think it was one-on-one, right? I think it was, yes, it was Vaporeon against Charizard. And I ended up beating the fucking Charizard for like a 2-hit KO, I think, with the Surf. Yeah, it literally came down to like one Pokemon each. after I beat that, I'm like, I had to take a few minutes of it because, like, holy shit, not only was that a hard fought battle, but I literally went into that final battle under leveled. I managed to pull off some freaking crazy strategic moves in order to get myself into that favor, into that spot. And it's been the first time in years where I've gone through the Elite Foreign Champion from like this Fire Red and Leaf Green and actively did it inside the first try, as well as experiment with a couple different ideas in order to try to get myself to a better position to sweep.
Hmm.
So that's what I ended up doing for that. But now I'm on the after game, right? And so for the after game, as soon as the credits roll and you go into that, Oak comes and visits you. You have to capture a certain number of Pokemon in order for go into like the next portion of it. So what I ended up doing here is I'm going through a bunch of different places, capturing a bunch of different Pokemon and stuff. On top of that, though, before we even started recording, I captured the rest of the legendary birds. A couple nights ago, I caught Zapdos at the power plant with a Great Ball. This evening, I end up catching both Articuno after about 7 or 8 different tries, whittled it down with to 1 HP, like paralyzed it, used about 15 Great Balls, and caught that son of a gun. And then, right as soon as we began recording, I caught Moltres on like the Ember Path or whatever the hell it is. This mountain region that's separate from Kanto and stuff. You got to get there and stuff on like one island, I think it is. And yeah, Moltres and stuff. That one, I finally got that one and stuff, and it's like now we got all 3 legendary birds. So my main plan is go back to Cerulean City, capture Mewtwo. I'm kind of debating whether if I want to use the Master Ball then or just save it for like the next portion of the game, because I know there's some other Pokemon that will be available for capture now because of the whole aspect of those e-reader cards that those events are now inside of Fire Red and Leaf Green thanks to these versions. Or if I just want to buy a whole bunch of different like Ultra Balls and stuff like that and just catch my luck. Or if I want to be a masochist about it, I could just buy up like 100 Great Balls and see if I can capture Mewtwo.
There you go.
Do it that way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Mewtwo is going to be like a level 70 because I know that damn thing is going to be hyper, like tough because it's incredibly high in terms of leveling and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Very nice. Very nice. Gables?
Huh.
Did you buy Marathon? He's thinking
No.
No?
I didn't buy Marathon.
Did you?
I bought Resident Evil 9 at Requiem.
Oh, nice. Nice. Why didn't you buy Marathon?
Don't want to buy Marathon.
Oh, if you hear it here first, people. Gables hates a good time. Well, that'll do it for this week. We're gonna leave it on that. Gables, another cliffhanger here. Will Gables buy Marathon? We're gonna ask that until he buys it. We're gonna bully him until he buys Marathon. That's what we're gonna do, people. So if you go out there in the comments, attack Gables until he buys it. I'm gonna show up at his work on Monday or Tuesday rather, and I'm gonna be like with a sign, buy Marathon. So, anyways, if you guys like the show like we do, please like, follow, subscribe. I apologize for my host for not buying Marathon. But I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables.
How do we get out of this podcast? Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. See you guys next week. I totally blinked out. I'm so mad about Marathon.
Well, until next time, everyone, play yourself some actual fun games and stuff. And on top of that, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds Podcast.
Hey, Gables.
Yeah.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Psych.
Well, see you, everybody.
Bye, Marathon.